My sister texted me at 8:14 p.m., her words hitting my screen like a command. Send me $2,800 for prom. I stared at the message, confused, then replied calmly, earn it yourself. I thought the matter was over. But 10 minutes later, my parents' notification slid across my screen like a verdict. Pay, or get out of this family. My chest tightened, my throat locked, and in that moment I realized something terrifying. Money had replaced love in my own home. So that night, with shaking fingers and burning eyes, I opened every account, every subscription, every card linked to me, and pressed one thing: cancel. Cancel. Cancel everything. By 8:30 the next morning, nothing in my life, or theirs, was the same. The night they threatened to throw me out, the house felt colder than winter. I'm Aisha, the girl who always kept her head down, the girl who worked double shifts while studying so my family could breathe easier. I used to believe sacrifice meant love, but that illusion shattered the moment my parents valued my sister's prom dress more than their own daughter's dignity. I sat on my bed, the dim light revealing the stack of receipts I'd paid over the years, groceries, bills, repairs, even my sister's phone upgrades that she never thanked me for. Every number was a reminder of how they took until I couldn't remember the last time someone gave back. As their messages kept popping up, you're ungrateful, you owe us, you ruined your sister's night, a numbness spread in my chest, not from hurt anymore, but from awakening. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I simply made a decision that whispered like a storm rising inside me. If they want to see how much they depend on me, they will. I canceled every payment they relied on without telling them. No noise. No confrontation. Just silence, the sharpest revenge a quiet girl can choose. Morning rose with the sound of panic downstairs. My mother's voice trembled as she argued with the electric company. My father cursed under his breath while checking his disabled gym membership. My sister, spoiled by years of easy comfort, screamed when the Wi-Fi dropped and her phone plan suspended. I walked through the chaos like a ghost, unseen but responsible for every crack forming in their perfect bubble. None of them looked at me, not until they needed answers. Aisha, did you forget to pay? My mother asked, her voice suddenly soft. I met her eyes for the first time in months and saw fear, not love. I didn't forget, I said quietly, I just stopped. They stared as if I'd spoken in an unfamiliar language. My father's face reddened with rage, but I didn't flinch. Years of silence had trained me to stand still like stone. Inside, though, something new was blooming: strength. Their world was built on my exhaustion, and the moment I stepped back, everything crumbled. My sister stomped toward me demanding her prom money, but I simply walked past her. No yelling, no explanation. Let them feel the emptiness I had carried alone for years. Revenge didn't always need noise. Sometimes, silence echoed far louder. By afternoon, reality tightened around them. Bills that used to vanish magically through my overtime shifts were now piling on the table. Prom dress appointments were cancelled, subscriptions expired, deliveries rejected. My parents finally realized the power they thought they held over me was an illusion. They depended on the daughter they treated like a burden. My father knocked on my door, something he never did. His voice, once commanding, wavered. We need to talk, he said. I didn't move immediately. I let the silence stretch. It was its own language now. When I finally opened the door, he looked smaller, not physically, but in presence. You can't just stop paying for everything, he said. For a moment, I felt the familiar sting of guilt creeping in, but then I remembered every night I cried myself to sleep after they drained my account without asking. I remembered the way they sided with my sister no matter how wrong she was. I remembered being treated like an ATM with a heartbeat. I whispered. And I have. My father had no words. My mother hovered behind him, unsure whether to comfort me or scold me. Their confusion was the beginning of their punishment. They were finally experiencing life without the daughter they controlled. That evening, I packed a small bag, not out of fear, but out of choice. My aunt, the only relative who truly cared, had offered me a spare room months ago when she sensed the growing tension at home. I never accepted because I hoped my family would change. But sometimes, walking away is the loudest message. As I stepped toward the door, my mother's voice cracked. Aisha, please don't go. It wasn't love speaking. It was dependence. The electricity had just been disconnected. They needed me again. For years, I had stayed because I believed leaving meant abandoning them. But now I saw clearly, staying had meant abandoning myself. I set my house key on the table. You asked me to leave, I said softly. I'm finally listening. My sister smirked as if she had won something, but her smile faded when I looked her in the eye. You want money, I said. Earn it. Her shock burned through the room. Without raising my voice, without a single insult, I turned and walked out, my footsteps steady, my heart lighter with every step. Silent revenge is not about hurting them, it's about freeing yourself from the cage they built around you. I reached my aunt's house that night, a warm, small place that smelled like peace. She didn't ask questions, she just hugged me as if she already knew everything. For the first time in years, I slept without fear of waking to demands, insults, or expectations. The next morning, my parents texted again, but this time the messages were different. "We're sorry, please come home, we didn't realize, their apologies came too late." I wasn't seeking revenge anymore, I was seeking myself. And in my silence, I had found her, the girl who had been buried under responsibility, now finally breathing. Weeks passed, and slowly, I rebuilt my life. My money stayed mine, my choices belonged to me, and my future opened like a door I had never dared to approach. My family learned to survive without my wallet, and for the first time, they learned to value me not as a provider but as a person. This wasn't a victory of noise, confrontation, or dramatic scenes. This was a quiet triumph. A silent rise. A calm transformation of a girl who walked away and came back stronger. Where are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments. This is Revenge Book. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of strength, justice, and silent courage.